Anybody can get it. The hard part's keeping it.
Waka waka!
Muppets Most Wanted. The success of Muppets 2011 wasn't just a breath of fresh air, it was also exciting, considering it could mean a new era of theatrical Muppet movies. After their cinematic absence for over a decade, it was long overdue, and I was so excited for whatever was gonna come next. Finally, the Muppets were back, and they were also really good again, reaching that prestigious bar of quality they set so long ago. Yeah, sure, there's always gonna be garbage like Smurfs 2 out there, but at least now there was hope.
The sequel always strives to be better, bolder, and bigger.
And thankfully, a few years later, we got Muppets Most Wanted, and I do remember seeing it in theaters and really enjoying it, especially the soundtrack. Even to this day, I still remember most of the songs quite fondly. And just like Muppets 2011 before now, I had only seen it one time, so that's a pretty impressive feat. And for a movie you don't tend to really hear a lot about, it surprisingly has had a small impact in the form of that hooded Kermit meme. But I'm like, do most people even know which movie that even comes from? And I just gotta say now, the actual scene from the film is better than any of these. Boo. Boo. Most Wanted picks up literally right where the last one ended, only now with eerie Amy Adams and Jason Segel doubles like, you ain't fooling no one. Yeah, they drop them, and honestly, as good as they were in 2011, it was absolutely for the best. This is perhaps the most jam-packed and chaotic Muppet movie of the entire series. In case you haven't been paying attention, that is an insane achievement. And I don't say that as a bad thing, I kinda love the movie for it. So much happens here that honestly, it's for the best they downsized. Walter does stick around though, and we get our opening number that we're doing a sequel. Yeah, they sing about a sequel, admitting it probably isn't gonna top the last one. It's a decent opening, but it gets even better when we're introduced to Constantine. In the 10 years since Most Wanted's release, I've not stopped thinking about him. Breaking out of the gulag like an SCP experiment, we get a whole old boy hallway scene of him kicking ass, and he's also got that infectiously memorable accent.
It's time to light the lights.
The idea of an evil Kermit is just so funny and entertaining to watch. There's a reason why Constantine years later spawned all those memes. His character resonated with people to their core. Evil Kermit clears boring old cringe evil Superman any day. You know why? Because he's a frog. And that's funny. Ricky Gervais and Constantine are secretly in cahoots with little Ricky manipulating the Muppets into going on an overambitious world tour while slowly turning the Muppets against Kermit. Like this nasty little spat him and Miss Piggy have, it's classic Muppet material.
Just trying to involve you in some of the decision-making, dear.
What about being involved in the decision to get married in the first place, huh?
Oh, Kermit, you never let me do what I want.
We get the iconic sequence, a few funny visual gags like plot point burden on the cab, and then Kermit gets sent away to the gulag in Siberia, while Constantine takes on the persona of Kermit.
It's not easy being mean.
God, I love this bastard. Easily one of the funniest bits is just watching him try to slip into the role, doing what everyone secretly does when they think they're alone. Practicing their impression of Kermit the Frog here.
Oh, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Hello, Kermit the Frog here. The lovers, the dreamers, and cheese. Nailed it.
I kinda love the idea that the world's most dangerous frog, #1 criminal in the world, finds out he doesn't have what it takes to do what Kermit does.
Yeah?
Oh no.
Kermit, introduce the show.
Something about that is just so dope and badass. Like, yes, you need Kermit the Frog. He's not replaceable. And that's the thematic core to the movie. It's the Muppets realizing how they can take Kermit for granted, rediscovering after all these years why they still need him more than ever. Well, Kermit has to put on a variety show inside the gulag with Danny Trejo. Friggin' Ray Liotta's back in a Muppet movie. What a G. What I really love about Muppets Most Wanted is that it doesn't have the burden of reintroducing the Muppets like 2011 did. It has the freedom to really stretch its little frog legs and have the actual Muppets ensemble as the main characters again. This is the Muppet cast going around the world, getting into different hijinks, and it feels like such a nice return to form to finally see these characters back at it on a new adventure. Without this, Muppets 2011, well, really good, would have been a pointless exercise. It would have been a huge tragedy if all that work, all that sentimentality didn't lead up to something like this, a return to normalcy. I love how even Animal in this one directly plays an important role. He immediately sniffs out Constantine for what he is, a fraud of a frog.
Bad frog.
Animal! Oh, good boy!
And when it comes time to finally save Kermit, it's Animal, Fozzie, and Walter that go save him. I really like that. They could have easily just had it be Fozzie, Gonzo, and Miss Piggy instead, and they didn't. I admire they took the time to spotlight Animal. Even if this one does admittedly suffer from still not quite being able to highlight everyone.
I'll say, maybe even at the expense of other long-standing beloved Muppets. Come on, Robin. Coming.
The soundtrack here. Ooh, baby, the soundtrack here is so memorable. Things like The Big House with Tina Fey is a banger. There's a number where the Muppets get interrogated by Sam the Eagle working for the CIA, and it's all in song, and it's so brilliant. But man, I forgot just how much of a bop Constantine's solo song, I'll Give You What You Want, was. Holy shit. This one, so good. There is a lot to love about Most Wanted. In many areas, it is to me preferable to the 2011 film and maybe even the quintessential Muppet movie. That being said, I don't think it quite surpasses the last one overall. I appreciate that this one is a Muppet-centric adventure. Constantine is such a fun antagonist, and the human cast like Tina Fey secretly Hey Arnolding over Kermit, Ty Burrell playing a Frenchman slowly forming this sweet little bromance with Sam the Eagle, it's a lot of fun. But what's frustrating is I do kind of wish this movie just went a little further in some spots. Like there's a part in the gulag where Kermit snaps at the prisoners during a rehearsal, finally figuring out how to take charge again and direct a show. It's so gratifying.
Quiet! Now look, we are holding auditions tomorrow, and if any of you have a problem with that, any of you, then my door is always open.
And watching this, I'm like, yes, they get it. They get these characters. Do that more. Go further. There are moments like this that I wish the movie would have just pressed into a little bit more, had the faith in itself to have taken the time to really let build up and breathe. But there's just so much going on that we're already on to the next little wacky scene before we can really explore those more powerful moments. If they had, I think this would have elevated Muppets Most Wanted truly into one of the best Muppet movies, period. Instead, it's just comfortably good. The finale itself is pretty great, being a bit of a flip on the wedding from Muppets Take Manhattan. Except I'ma say it, this version is way better, with Miss Piggy now being the one expressing doubts. And this all leads to us getting the over-the-top action-packed finale.
Good night, folks.
It's a bomb!
Faithful viewer, when you spend the last month of your life completely immersed in every Muppet film, Beaker stopping a bomb tied to Miss Piggy's wedding ring, every Muppet clinging onto Kermit as he tries to stop his doppelganger from escaping with Miss Piggy on a getaway helicopter, this is fucking Metal Gear. This is Solid Frog versus Liquid Frog, and it's pretty fun.
What a woman.
Yeah, my woman. And I believe this belongs to you.
Also, the closing sequence with all the cameos green screen to a wall is so butt ugly. Overall though, Muppets Most Wanted is a really solid Muppet movie. It has some of my favorite Muppet scenes and songs, but it's just missing a bit of the tight focus and emotional punch that 2011 and the better Muppet movies had. It's like I said, Muppets 2011 gave me hope that live-action family movies could reach a prestigious bar of quality again after an era of darkness. And thankfully, Muppets Most Wanted did its part to keep that flame alive. I remember leaving the theater and thinking, wow, we're so back. I cannot wait to see what the next one is. And it's been 10 years and I'm sorry, I'm just a little confused, okay? Both these movies are good. Why did we stop? It feels so weird. It's like there's this missing piece. You can easily see how you can divide the series into like an era of trilogies. Here we just get two. And all I gotta say, Disney,
Shame on you.
Muppets Most Wanted. A very solid return to form that left me begging for more Muppets, even after I thought I'd be all mupped out.
15 seconds to curtain. Kermit?
Sure.